Do we even do a musical intro today? Or we just say
No,
fuck
so I'm
it.
not gonna lie to you, man. It's been a long day. I don't think I have it. I
Yeah,
don't think I have it in me, in all honesty. I think I
yeah.
just well, not I think I know. I just failed an exam for like the one class that's actually moderately difficult that I'm taking.
Oh,
So I am exhausted, man. It's been a bad day.
uh-oh. Are the rest of your classes easy?
Not easy. It's just they're not difficult. Like
Gotcha.
let's think. Like I mean, generally speaking, I'm a B or B plus average student, but this class, like I would be, I in order I did the math in order to get a C minus, which is what I need because it's a major requirement.
Yeah.
Um, I need like an 83% on the final exam. And seeing as that on the two midterms, I got a 56% and a 52%, it's probably not going to happen. But it's a pretty hard class, so he might curve. So we'll see. But
So,
no, it's
are
it's
you?
been tough.
Dang. Wait, what class is this?
Regression.
Oh God. Ugh. Wait. So, are you gonna have to retake it if you? I mean,
Yeah, if I get below a C minus, yeah, I have to. So that's gonna be a bummer.
and you're a double major too, right?
Yeah. So we'll see.
Oh. Well, no, you'll be okay, Isaac. It's all good.
I hope so,
It's
man.
it's
Jesus.
all positive vibes. You
Yeah.
know, we're in
Hmm.
the realm of the Stickscast set. I thought that would rhyme. I don't know. I for some reason thought sesh and Stickscast would rhyme, but it didn't. So
Hmm.
also I don't know what else has been going on for you this week, Isaac. I don't know.
Nothing really.
Yeah,
I'm just having a great time. Besides that,
I
uh,
noticed. Oh, I was gonna say, I don't know if it's your roommates, but I noticed you've been playing a lot of Rocket League, and Madden.
yeah, no. So the Madden's my roommates. I play Rocket League with them sometimes. But most of the time it's my roommates.
Okay, okay, cool, cool, cool. Because I was like, damn, this dude's already. Do you own Madden, or is it just
Yeah.
like?
It's not Madden 23. It's Madden 22. So yeah.
Oh, I've been so tempted the
It
past
better
couple
be at least. If
weeks.
they bought shit on my account, I'm gonna slap the shit out of them. Are you joking?
Because I was gonna say like, I've been so tempted to get the new Madden. Like when they
Yeah.
had like the first sale and it was $40. I'm like, I can wait. I know it's gonna be even cheaper in
No,
a
we
couple of
gotta we
weeks.
gotta wait till summer, man. Gotta
Yeah.
wait till summer when it's
Yeah.
$3. But
I know.
what time's your movie tonight?
Well, so it's at 6:30, but I have to pick up Aaliyah from the light rail because last time I screwed up and she got to the light rail and I was late and it
Mm-hmm.
was like freezing out, and so she waited like 20 minutes outside. So I'm being like extra safe to make sure that
Yeah.
doesn't
Mm-hmm.
happen
Okay. Good. Yeah.
again.
Good boyfriend. Yeah. Nice job.
Yeah. Well,
That's
yeah.
exciting. So what I'm hearing is you'll have about an hour and a half, an hour 15. Let's round down. An hour 15 uh, to watch Kyle Pitts drop like 40 tonight. So,
Yeah. Okay. Hold on. Let's do our little fantasy football segment here.
oh yeah.
I'm feeling a little fantasy
Oh really?
talking, but yeah, because the who let's you know what, Isaac, let's do something wild. What's the like over under or not over under? Wait, yeah, is it? Let's do the spread of the Falcons Panthers game. Let's what even is it like on DraftKings? I want to know. Let me look up
Let me check.
Panthers.
I'm gonna check Caesars.
Okay, it's invigorating. I'll let Isaac do that while I just ramble
No,
on
yeah, yeah.
here. Let's see. I'll say the other movies I watched this week too. Actually, that'll be a little fun, a little check in. This week I also watched Spirited Away at the theater. That was a great time. Then I was. This is when the point when the Ethernet stopped working on my apartment, so I got really bored
Mm.
and was like, I'm just gonna watch a Martin Scorsese movie for the fun of it. So I watched Raging Bull. Pretty fun movie. Good time. Every time I watch a Scorsese movie, I'm like, it's like a nice, good like sandwich, right? Like it's
Hmm.
nothing sexy. When I don't know. Well, for some people it might be, but then and you're like, do I really? But then once you finish the movie, you're like, damn, that's a complete film. Even if you don't even really like it, just like a sandwich. And lastly, I watched Grizzly Man.
Mhm.
documentary on the guy that would hang out with grizzly bears. And yeah, so that's my all right. And it seems like Isaac's got the numbers for the Falcons Panthers game.
Yeah, I
Uh,
do.
all right, what is it?
All right, so we're looking at a spread of Atlanta minus 2.5. The
Oh,
over unders around 41.5. Their money line odds are Atlanta minus 145, Carolina plus 122. And that's all the betting stuff you need to know.
yeah.
I
Well,
think that's being overly generous because I've seen Atlanta play every game this year. They are not that good, but it's Carolina, and we know how this happened 2 weeks ago. So
yeah. Well,
we'll
also,
see.
so let's all those numbers you said. I just understood how the first one, like the -2.5. I finally comprehended what that means, and I'm gonna
Okay.
say it just to double check, so Isaac,
Mhm.
you can like correct me. So if the Falcons are -2.5, right? That
Yep.
means that you can either bet on the Falcons, but they need to win by a lead that's more than 2.5 points, correct?
Correct.
And then if
If
you're
you're
betting
using the
on
spread.
yeah, and then you can use the spread if you're betting on the Panthers, where the either option is they win or they lose by with or within that point spread. Is that how it works?
Essentially, yeah, but each point spread has a different has different odds. Like obviously Carolina plus 2.5. That's it's gonna be different odds. I forget exactly what the odds are because it didn't list it on the website. But so like you could do Atlanta minus 2.5. There's also some websites that'll have different options. Like for example, Gambit because I live in DC.
Yeah.
We have like a state run casino, which is really funny to think about. But like they'll let you pick a spread of like one of like six options, right? So you could bet like, oh, Atlanta minus like 8.5, and it's much bigger odds because it's more unlikely, right? But yeah, you got the spread
Okay.
down.
Okay. Cool. So with that spread you gave me, I'm gonna take prime time PJ Walker here. Um, they did suffer an absolutely miserable loss with having to put in Baker Mayfield in the second half. But
He played
we
well.
looked at the yeah, well, okay, that was garbage time. It doesn't really whatever. It's
Fair,
garbage
fair,
time
fair.
against the Bengals, like against Eli Apple. All right.
Yeah.
Anyways, the 2 weeks before, PJ Walker was looking pretty elite, right? They
Against
still
the
got all
Falcons.
their key pieces. Yeah, and they should have won that game too if it wasn't the refs and society being racist towards DJ Moore. All right.
It was really just
So
their kicker, but yeah, I get what you're saying.
well, yeah. I mean, and the kicker fucked up. But so I think since it's such a close, as we've seen now with the past couple of games, where we're seeing these divisional games where like they played each other recently, I'm pretty sure all those games have resulted in the sweeps. Like the one I can think is like Seahawks swept the Cardinals and they played each other within like a couple weeks. I think you
Hmm.
also had the Colts and Titans, and if I'm not mistaken, the Titans won both of those games. I might be wrong on that one.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. I think you're right. Colts aren't
So
really
I'm
winning
gonna,
much, so
yeah. So especially now with that coach. So I'd argue you're gonna take that Panthers, and at that spread, I would do it. Especially if it's been so close, like since their last game, and it was a close game. It's gonna be a close game too. So that's my pick. Isaac, what's your take?
I think Falcons are gonna run them. I think it's gonna be probably. I think you know, it's going to be a big night for Kyle Pitts. I can tell you that. Last week, Marcus Mariota had him wide open for a 75-yard touchdown, and he overthrew him by 10
Oh,
yards.
I saw that. That
But
was
this
rough.
this week, I think it's going to be a little different. I think that Carolina, they're known for their defense because they don't really do much on offense. Uh, but I think PJ Walker, he had one good game against the Falcons. I don't think he's going to have another. He's just way too inconsistent to really bet on at this point. And,
Mm-hmm.
say what you will about Marcus Mariota not being able to throw the ball more than 35 yards down the field. He runs that Arthur Smith offense very well. And I think
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's going to be a high scoring affair. I would say 14-3, probably Falcons.
14-3. Wow.
Yeah. So I would take the under on the over under. But that being said, Atlanta's defense is shit. And last time I think they went into like both of them were in the I think it was like 35-32. But I really just don't see It's it's a night game. It's probably cold. I mean, it's Carolina, so it's probably not that cold.
No, it's
But
not.
like, it's a night game. They had to go to Charlotte. And I just think no one's really productive if they have to go to Charlotte. That's just my philosophy. Never been to Charlotte. Never plan on it. Um, yeah,
They don't wait. They don't even play in
no.
Charlotte.
The Panthers? Yeah, they do.
No, no, they don't. They do not play in Charlotte. Hold on. Let's look this up.
I'm pretty sure they
Panthers
play in Charlotte.
stadium location is in.
Yeah, Charlotte. It's Uptown Charlotte, North Carolina. Bank of America Stadium.
I swear, I've heard a different city name. All right, well, that's on me. Fuck.
Yeah,
And
but
also
anyway, I like the Falcons. Yeah.
last thing I'll say about Kyle Pitts. Isaac, I thought that the team just hated Kyle Pitts, right?
Oh, they
Oh,
do. No, Arthur Smith hates Kyle Pitts. He only plays like three. He only plays like 75% of snaps, and he doesn't target him in the red zone. If you have a 6'6" receiver who can run a 4.4, I don't want to hear people say he's a tight end. He's a receiver. If you have a 6'6" receiver who runs good routes, and he runs a 4.40, 140 yard dash, I don't care. You throw it to him on every single play,
yeah.
especially in the red zone. But
Okay.
yeah, Arthur Smith's a little bitch. Okay, I could literally coach them better. I swear to God.
All right, that is true. But for the first ever time, looked at Kyle Pitts' stats this year. He still gets like a good amount of targets. He only catches like 2 or 3 balls, though. That's the
Right, Nils.
thing.
But here's the thing, Nils. It is so embarrassing to say this. I have watched every Atlanta Falcons offensive possession this season. I can tell you right now, at least 50% of those targets are not catchable. At
All right, fair
least.
enough. Fair enough. You're watching it.
At
Are you
least.
watching that through like the NFL Plus thing?
No, so NFL Plus is a fucking scam.
Yeah,
Because it only gives you like 1 or 2 games at a time that you can actually live stream. You can watch all of them on replay, which is a huge plus for me because that just means I can watch, I can like scout and stuff. I can watch football whenever I want year round. But
yeah.
like in terms of like streaming, it's a fucking terrible thing. They're like, yeah, you have access to all games, but what they don't tell you is when they say access, they mean you can stream 2 games, but you can only listen to like live radio feed for the rest of them.
That's
But
awful.
you get all prime time. So like for example, I can watch Thursday night, Monday night, Sunday night. Um, but other than that, no, it's shitty. It's a
Mm.
terrible.
So you're watching
It's just
the Falcons
terrible.
games illegally then?
No, it's on NFL Plus.
Okay, okay.
Oh wait, no, the Falcons game. Sorry, I thought you were talking about tonight. No, so my family we have like Sunday ticket, so I just use our TV provider
Oh,
and I log in.
okay.
Um,
Gotcha. That
but
sounds
yeah, I think
horrible watching every Falcons offensive. Ugh,
not
that sounds.
great, but it cancels out. I've also seen every. Let's think, what teams have I seen? I've seen every Giants, Eagles, Falcons. Um, I could
Packers.
not do the Panthers. No, I have. I actually haven't been watching many
What?
Packers.
God
Yeah,
damn, you know
we're
a
pretty
team is
bad,
doo doo
man.
this year when
yeah,
Isaac's watching every Atlanta
yeah,
Falcons game or possession
yeah.
instead of the fucking Packers.
I've
Oh,
literally watched more Falcons football this year than Packers, which, to be fair, I think they're doing better right
you
now. But
Isaac, just become an Atlanta fan.
I'm
You
close. Oh,
built.
Cardinals too. I've seen Cardinals. I've seen Cardinals.
What? Oh, these are. I mean, okay. Eagles is like good, and you said another NFC East team, which is fair. But like the
Giants, yeah.
Cardinals and
Although
Falcons,
I didn't watch the Cardinals when James Conner was injured, but other than that, I have watched every possession. It's
dude, the Cardinals
painful.
are so bad
I
that last
know.
week against the Seahawks. Like
I know.
Kyler Murray, like fumbled when literally it was just like the tiniest tap from our safety on that one. It's
Yeah,
like, dude, what are you doing? And they don't
yeah.
run the ball. I don't know what the hell they
Well,
do.
because it's a spread offense. They don't run single back, which is like the best way to run the ball. So everything they run is like a zone RPO or zone read option.
Ugh,
Like
yeah.
it's just it's uninspiring. But I still think Cliff is a good coach. I just think his GM is bad.
Did you see the
His
audio
GM
came
is
out
bad.
about the D Hop and Kyler Murray fight on the sideline?
No, what they
Oh, it's really
really?
funny. Yeah, I think
What's
it
it
came out on
about?
Hard Knocks. So no, literally,
Oh, Hard
D
Knocks is with the
Hop.
Falcons. Yeah.
Wait, what? You mean the Cardinals?
I mean, yes, I said Falcons. Shit, dumbass. Sorry,
It's
Redbird. What
Redbirds.
can I
It's
say?
Redbird. Yeah. No, but basically, like, D Hop that game because this is the Seahawks game. I think he's like, "Where are you looking at? One? Where are you looking at?" And he's like, "I'm wide open." And then Kyler Murray, he's like, and like fucking screaming back. And then it's so
Yeah,
you can tell none of the players like Cliff Kingsbury because he's like, "Guys, guys," and they just don't give a shit, and they're still like yelling at each other. And then AJ Green is just standing there awkwardly knowing like he's just has no impact in the game.
yeah.
Oh my god.
Cliff Kingsbury has got to be the whitest dude in the league right now. He's because it's like those those inspirational speech memes that's like Andy Dalton be like, guys,
Yeah.
guys, let's calm down and let's go perform. That's exactly what I am, and except he's in a head coach role, so that's exactly what I expect. But I'm calling it
Oh.
now, Nils. Cliff Kingsbury is going to be the head coach of the Denver Broncos next season.
Ooh, that's a hot pick.
Yeah,
I kind of like it.
or Dan
I
Quinn. It's either him or Dan Quinn. I really don't know
it,
which
it
one.
better be Dan Quinn. Although they don't
Dan Quinn
really.
would be fun.
The only thing is, those like Dan Quinn, like they already have that defense. Like they need
Yeah,
a better offensive perspective. Like, I mean, I get Dan Quinn was good with the Falcons offensively, kind of, but like you
that
would
was more
think
Shanahan.
that's true. But like, I don't know. It's just like their main problem is offense. Their defense is amazing. Like, so you would
Mm-hmm.
think, but I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I would still want Dan Quinn as a head coach, regardless of what my team was at. He
That's
should be
fair.
a good head coach.
I mean, listen, he turned around that Dallas defense, and yeah, they drafted like Michael Parsons, which helped. But I also think that like if you have a really good defense, even if you add a defensive head coach, like it still gets better. I don't think there's really a plateau when it comes to like growth.
Yeah. No. Okay, wait. Before I like how we're 17 minutes in and we just talk about fantasy. This is for some people
Yeah.
I think like great, and some people this is just like
For
if
our
like
viewer base in like India, they must be so confused and so mad right now.
all right, but just to make it relevant, because I feel like the people that will listen to this will probably listen to it tomorrow. Let's
Right.
quickly. I'm not saying take us that long. Let's quickly do the over under, or whatever, or just predicting. We don't even have to do spread for a Sunday and Monday night game. Just the two primetime games. So what are the
What's the primetime game on Sunday and Monday?
primetime game? Sunday is Chargers 49ers, and Monday night is Eagles Commanders.
Okay, Eagles Commanders. Eagles are gonna win. I would say by at least 7.5. I think they're just gonna run them, but
Yeah.
I think that for Chargers 49ers is not Nick is Joey back? Is Joey
Joey,
Bosa back?
let me check. I'm on the
Because
search
once he
right
comes
now.
back, I think they're gonna go on a run.
Um,
Um,
Chargers get encouraging Joey Bosa injury update.
all right,
Closer to practice. He's not playing this weekend. If he's getting closer to practice and it's
fair.
Thursday, he's not playing.
You're right. Okay. Then I think 49ers probably gonna wipe them just
Yeah,
completely.
I
I think
agree.
49ers are gonna probably. I think they could go to the Super Bowl this year. I think that's
Okay.
very possible.
Eh,
I think
I
the Eagles are gonna fall apart like in the last. It's either gonna be they're gonna go 17-0 and lose their first playoff game, or the Eagles are gonna lose like the last like two of the last. Sorry, they're gonna go 2-4 to end out the season. That's my big theory.
Eagles are gonna end up 2-4 in the.
No, like the last six games, they're gonna win two and lose four. Like
Oh
the Eagles are not that good.
no no
The
no.
Eagles are not that good now.
Okay, yeah. So, in response, first, I you would think 49. I'm not every year. There's always the 49ers hype. I don't think they're gonna win a. They're not gonna win a Super Bowl with Kyle Shanahan. He's such an overrated head coach. No, he is. He is. Whether you like it or not, he is overrated. He gets out coached in the playoffs every offseason. All right, and like Falcons 28-3. I don't like if you're behind that, you're never winning the Super Bowl.
Mhm.
Anyways, secondly, I agree with you. Yeah, the 49ers are winning this game though. Like Chargers are defense like without JC Jackson and all that, it's still going to be they don't have enough defensive manpower to stop that. And then so I agree with you on that. I do kind of think Washington if Heineke's under center and I saw Chase Young. He's looking healthy. I think I think Commanders. might have a chance here. Wait,
Nils,
is
I'm
it
not
in
gonna lie to
Philly?
you. I
Wait, is
think
it in Philly or is it in
I
DC?
I don't know. I'm not gonna lie to you though. Like I sincerely like it's been years since it started. I still don't get the Heineke hype. He's not that good.
No, he's
He's just like
not.
a little. He's a little smaller than average. He's like 6 foot tall, 6 feet tall, and he's just like runs around. He's like, it's just
Okay,
yeah.
never mind.
I just
I take
don't.
it back. They're playing in Philly. Yeah, no, Eagles won that game.
No,
Yeah,
no, 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 no,
yeah.
no, no.
All right, I take if they were playing Washington, I would say maybe, but like, yeah,
Nah, man. Even in what? Because I went to the Packers
yeah,
game. Like I can tell you, like there's no Washington fans.
no.
No one cares. Not until Dan Snyder sells the team. I saw more people with a sell the team sign than I saw like Commanders fans.
Oh my god, that's
Yeah,
awesome.
well, it's insane, right?
All right, well, speak. Speaking of Dan Snyder, people hating Dan Snyder because he's an absolute monster.
Hmm.
There's a monster in the movie we just saw, The Void. That's what it's
Yeah.
called. The Deep. Wait, is it The Deep or The Void?
Nope, it's the void. Nope, you got it. The void.
The title is like, and then when you look up, I think it's The Void.
No,
There are
it's the
like
void.
there are like 8 movies that have that title name. So it's
Oh, really?
2016 The
Yep.
Void. Let me
Hmm.
make. I'm gonna double check because I think that was. I was like, holy. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Look at this. Oh no. Oh, you're not really able to see, but like
Oh, I can see that. Yeah. Okay.
The Void.
Wow.
Yeah. There's like
It's
five,
like
six
it's a
The
cool
Voids.
title. It's a cool title.
I. Well, you know what? Let's get right into it. All right. Oh wait. Let me see the plot synopsis, and then we'll talk about the title because just to help out.
Shoot.
All right. Yeah. 2016.
Hmm.
Directed by Jeremy Gillespie and Steven Kostansky. There is a hell. This is this is worse. In the middle of a routine patrol, Officer Daniel Carter happens upon a blood-soaked figure limping down a deserted stretch of road. He rushes the young man to a nearby rural hospital staffed by a skeleton crew, only to discover that patients and personnel are transforming into something inhuman. As the horror intensifies, Carter leads the other survivors on a hellish voyage into the subterranean depths of the hospital in a desperate bid to end the nightmare before it's too late. Woo! Okay, let's go into it. What is the void in this movie, Isaac? Like, let's just go, cause yeah, I don't. Let's not
Okay.
even talk about opinions yet. What do you think is the void?
I would say the void is probably that spoilers. I would say the void that they're talking about in the title, at least, is probably like it's probably a literal meaning. It's not. I don't think it's like a metaphor
Oh
for
yeah, yeah,
something.
yeah. No, I'm not saying yeah.
I think it's literally just like we see flashes of it every time like shit happens.
Mm.
Where it's just like a really like big, vast. It looks like clouds, or it looks like under the water type thing, and it's just like complete. It's not silent. It's just like it's eerie. I think that behind the like big triangle door thing. I think that's the void.
Yeah.
And I think that like yeah, I would say that's the void. How about you?
So no, yeah, that's what I agree. Like, cause I mainly just wanted to kind of I don't know, just like talk about the monster, like to
Hmm.
begin with, like, and what exactly is it? Cause like I how do I put this? Like was the so because in a lot of like sci-fi, horror classics like I don't know, Xenomorph or I don't know, the Thing, right? The creature both like symbolically and like a figurative aspect have a goal, right, that they're
Yeah.
accomplishing, right? So like let's say with the Thing, which I think this movie takes a lot of inspiration from. You've seen the Thing, right, Isaac?
Yeah.
Okay, cool, cool. Because I mean, I think you'd agree, like, where the Thing is literally like this alien species that comes down and is replicating, other creatures to eventually take over the entire planet. And
Hmm.
symbolically, it's trying to, it's a great way to show how human nature, how we can trust one another, and the breakdown of that so easily, right?
Hmm.
So now going back to the void, what do you think the monster's main accomplishment was, or like And I don't know what did you take out? What did you take from the monster in this film?
Good question. I mean, obviously, it's represented as some type of god, right?
Mm.
Um, but then depending on your beliefs, that can mean a few different things. Like for example, in this one, it's hard. I don't know how to completely explain it, but it seems like at least to me, uh, God, how do I explain this? It's weird
No,
because it
it's
seems like it's obviously there's obviously something, right?
mm.
But then like it's not exactly easy to figure out what exactly that entity, I guess, is. I wouldn't say it had any like real goals, but like I don't know. I thought that like I just thought its creations were really weird, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, that was I think of the monster. That's my favorite aspect of it. Like, because
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about you, because I hadn't heard of this movie at all. I don't even know
Mm-hmm.
how you heard of this movie, Isaac. I was like,
Yeah.
okay, I didn't watch any trailers, nothing. The only thing I saw was the people with the triangles right on their head.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, whatever. Sorry, it was
All good.
allowing storage. Yeah, no, it was like, do you want this website to take up more than a gigabyte of storage? Anyways,
Oh
um,
Jesus.
so like when you're first watching the movie, I'm like, okay, this is a bit lower budget, right? Because like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, you can tell by the sets where it's like, oh, it's like you got the cop costume, and then it's like in a
Right.
hospital, and there's only like four people working in the whole house. Like, okay, all right, and it's like feels a little cheap, right? And then when it shows the fucking creature designs, like
Oh
it's
yeah.
insane. Again, I don't want to take from some. There's a letterbox review of this movie that was really funny, where it was like those Twitter memes where it's like a budget thing, right? So it's like
Yeah.
$50 this, and so it was something like $200 on actors, $50 on the script, or like $50 on the set, and $300,000 on the creatures and effects or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And that's I was like, whoa, because yeah, the effects for the monsters like are so well done. The
Yeah.
only thing
It's all
like
practical too, which is insane.
I know that's what I really liked about it. Like
Mm-hmm.
they're just so intricate, and I think they had a perfect balance of trying to kind of keep it hidden so you're still curious. They didn't show too much of it, and they didn't show too
Mm-hmm.
little.
Right.
The only part that pissed me off is they were trying to do that thing where it's when the farmer dad and son are first fighting the creature right in the hallway, and they're axing up that thing, and
Right.
the director has that swinging light, right? That's doing the thing where like directors love to do, where it's like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, it's like, let me,
You can see part of it, but you can't see all of it.
oh, it's
Yeah, no,
so
I get what you're
cool. I'm
saying.
like,
Yeah.
God, but it was even more annoying because like the direct bulb is like going in your eye, so it's
Yeah.
just like that. I was like, stop! I'm trying to look at the cool creature. But sorry,
Hmm.
my bad. I
No.
kind of just overhauled. But yeah, well,
Yeah,
sorry. So back to
exactly.
what you're saying. But yeah, more about the monster in this.
Right. So I mean, like, I have a lot of thoughts about this film. I think that like conceptually, I thought because I'm a big fan of just like horror movies with a cult element. Like I think that is you can do it in a lot of ways, but I think especially like I think that was really well done with this movie because it kept it super ominous. There's a bunch of people wearing white cloaks with triangles on their faces in the forest surrounding an emergency room.
Yeah.
I thought that was like such a great lead up. I kind of think it faltered though. Like, don't get me wrong, I absolutely loved the creature design and all that,
Hmm.
but I feel like it just like any like there just
There.
wasn't any
Oh,
like I don't know how to say it. It just didn't feel right. Yeah.
do you think there should have been more of a direction to it, like rather than it just being kind of like a Resident Evil sub boss, like flesh in a way?
Hmm.
Because it is
I
odd. I'll let you. Sorry, I'll let you talk in a second. But like
no, no, don't worry about it. Go for it.
where like you have the triangle people, and then it transitions into like literally looks like the monster, kind of like from the thing, where it's just like
Hmm.
a ton of flesh. But yeah, I don't know what you're talking like. What were you saying?
No, yeah. I mean, like I no, I completely, I'm very much supportive of the monsters. Like the whole demon thing, I think that's really interesting, and I think it was done really
Mm.
well. So I have no problems with going down that Resident Evil esque path. But like, and I do like that they got into that early, and they were like, all right, what the fuck's going on? And they didn't just save that all for the final act, right? I think that was really well done. I forget the first, the first lady that died, that the monster like, you know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I thought that was really well done. But
Hmm.
it's definitely like one of the best parts of the movie. It's just like, I feel like when you're
Excuse me.
doing a horror movie about some not really satanic, but some like, derelict god cult type thing, I think that like the first half of the movie in this case was really good because they kept it super ominous. People like the guy was abducting people. The guy died, and then he came back to life, and then he was abducting people. And I think they really did a good job with showing, not telling, because like obviously, eventually they're like, "Hey, the body is gone," but before that, like a good like probably 5 minutes before that, we saw he was gone. But like, so I think it did really well there. It's just like I think that it really could have. It just escalated really quickly, in my opinion. And it's an hour and a half movie, and it clearly
Mm.
wasn't like a multiple $1 million production. So like I understand why. I just think it would have been better if they like just slowed down that build up a lot. Because once they found out the guy like resurrected himself or whatever, and they were like he's in the morgue. It really just like went 0 to 100 at that point, and it didn't really feel as much like a horror movie as it felt like it not really yeah, it felt like exactly like Resident Evil. It felt like an action instead of it, more so action than horror, if that makes sense.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, I like, I,
Also,
in
who
a
keeps their cult
way,
stuff in their desk? Who does
yeah.
that? Sorry.
It's just like, I don't know. This movie was so ambitious. Like, there's so many. Because I like for me, I think you probably like this movie a bit more than me. But like, it felt, especially
Yeah.
that first half, um, it felt like a ton of stuff you kind of seen before that's all put together, right? And like, where so it's like I got like the Resident Evil vibe. You have like
Mm-hmm.
the thing. What was the? There's I don't know, like, just with there a lot of stuff, like especially the first half. At least for me, like when I was watching, I was like, I've seen a lot of this before. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying I don't know, and it's just like it's clear the production isn't very like it's pretty low budget ish movie. So then
Yeah.
I was like kind of bored, and then yeah, but then I agree with like the second half when it's like the doctor is like I was like wait, because then the doctor's like, oh, I'm the one or whatever. It's like, what? I mean, I may miss a part in the very middle of the movie, but all I remember was like you had the doctor, right, and then like
Yeah.
he was all humble or not humble, like innocent,
He
right,
was a nice
and
guy.
then
He was a
yeah,
cool. He was a
like
doctor. Yeah.
and I don't think they like had any foreshadowing of it in the beginning. And then
No.
and then it's like cuz then you have the guy, right? That's like the farmers want to kill, and then he stabs the doctor because like it makes sense from that context where he's doing it because he's trying to take away his hostage, right? You're like, okay. But then when that crazy dude's like, it was the doctor the whole time. It's like, wait, why did
Yeah.
it what? Like it just seems like they added it in at the last second because there wasn't I don't even remember the doctor, and then I was like, is
Mm-hmm.
it a different doctor? Um
Mm-hmm.
but it is hilarious how like when the doctor turns into like Vecna mode, right? This made me um shit on not shit on it, but made me like Stranger Things less because I was like, oh, this movie did Vecna first, and
Yeah.
it looks really good.
No. Yeah.
Still
It looks
works in
great.
Stranger Things, but I was like, whoa. So yeah, once again, the effects are. But yeah, I was so confused. Did I miss something like in the beginning and middle of it? Because yeah, it just ramps up to like 100 all of a sudden. Um,
I mean, so there wasn't a lot of foreshadowing for the Doctor being evil, which personally I like a lot because I think that's
hmm.
like just something that's really oversaturated in the horror market because it's like, ooh, if you don't pay attention to every detail, and since that's every movie, then everyone just pays attention to everything, and then I like things when they're unpredictable, and this movie was very unpredictable for most of the time, which I liked.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Specifically for her horror though, but like it really got ramped up because once they took the dude's like I'm gonna say separated wife, um at that point,
Oh yeah.
it was like he was just like running through the whole thing. I also didn't. Speaking of that, I didn't like because he was trying to rescue her, so like it was just a big rush essentially. That being said, I didn't really like what was it called? I didn't really like how they handled that. Like, yeah, okay, so I'm guessing they were separated because of a miscarriage, if I had to guess. Which is cool, understandable, but like they didn't act like that. They more acted awkward instead of like this. I really hate like being around you, which I felt like was more of the vibe. But that's fine. I mean, like you said, it's not like we had like who's a famous actor. We didn't have like Leonardo DiCaprio in it. But
Mm.
I think that yeah, so I would say that the point of escalation was when the doctor took her. I don't know how the doctor took her, but like
Oh yeah,
I
that was something. I was like, wait, did I
she
miss
was
the
just
part
gone.
when the woman?
She just Also,
I
she
know.
just left on her own to go like to his office. Why would you do that? That you saw a literal like a literal demon in the hallway. You don't go off alone without a weapon. Like that's it's just horror movie logic, but still.
I know. I was just like, wait. So that was another thing because I was like, damn, did I miss another part of the movie? Because like all of a sudden she was on the fucking doctor bed, like passed out, and then
Yeah.
the other side just like, you've already have the child in you, and I'm like, oh my, what the fuck is going on? Um, and
Mhm.
then like I don't even know, and then it's just so weird. Like, I mean, I don't know. Like Isaac, I disagree. Like I get it, but I don't know. I kind of disagree at the same time. Like I don't want movies like to be predictable, right? In a way,
Yeah, of course. No
like
one
they
does.
shouldn't be like
That's the point of
because
going,
that's
right?
just boring. Yeah, but like when you're being unpredictable to a certain extent, where like even looking back on it, you're like, wait, how would that even? Because like okay, you have like the pregnant 16-year-old, right? And then
Yeah, that was
it's just like,
interesting. Yeah.
yeah. So you have a pregnant 16-year-old, and then all of a sudden she becomes like Vecna's main like minion and has his child, and it's just like, I
Never
mean, it's
saw it
like I
coming.
guess, but like in terms of how of like an emotional feel of like it's not I don't know to me it just wasn't satisfying because it made me feel like I missed
Fair.
a part of the movie because I was like what the fuck like because and that woman's acting yeah, I mean like some of the actors are not great like that yeah the girl the 16-year-old her acting was so bad where it
Yeah.
like it made me
I thought that
uncomfortable
was his name.
um
What was his name? I thought the state trooper was like the worst actor I've ever seen. Watching him
oh,
hold his gun was so cringeworthy. Like, because he
yeah.
was he was like, here, let me use my calculator because I don't own a gun. He was like, he was like, he walks in the room with the demon, like the literal demon, and he goes, actually, wait, I have a hat. Hold on. All right, sorry, because he was wearing a hat, so I gotta
Yeah,
gotta
yeah, yeah,
get
yeah.
it
Of
right.
course, of course.
So he it's hard with headphones. Anyway, I'll do
I
this without
gotcha.
headphones. Fuck it.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
So you know he walks into the room that has a literal demon, and he goes, "What's that?" And that he does that like 4 times. He gets stabbed by like the demon's like flesh things, and then he dies. So I
oh
I didn't
god.
like his acting, but you get what you get, I guess.
Oh yeah, no, that guy and like his the separated wife. It was like, what is going on?
Yeah.
Oh, and like yeah. Speaking of that, so like, what do you think? I'm confused. So they enter the portal, right? Like together. I
Um, I'm not sure if he entered the portal. Actually, I know that they ended up there, but it's like the thing is, I think that that's actually a great question. So
because she
it
died
really,
too.
oh, he cut her head off with that
Yeah.
axe so hard. Not saying that was the bad move. That was definitely a good move.
Oh yeah.
Um, But like, so I think that like, because they don't explicitly just like jump in the portal, right? She gets her head cut off, and he's like bleeding out on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
He's next to the portal, but he's bleeding out on the floor. And then like he's just completely standing up perfectly, like in what we would assume is the void, right? And they see those big triangles, which reminded me of Destiny. Um,
Yeah. Oh
and
my
then
gosh.
it's
Yeah.
like, and then so it's or Control. It also reminded me a lot of Control, but
Mm-hmm.
so it's just like I think it depends because obviously like they I think the thing I hated the most about this movie is that while I was really happy with how they kept things like under the radar and surprising and unexpected, they
Mm-hmm.
also didn't really explain anything, which is kind of defeats the point in my opinion of I mean no it doesn't. What am I saying? I think that because and this goes back to one of our earlier Stickscast where I firmly believe I forget what the other horror one we watched was that like you can either have like you can have a I completely know I like at first you don't know sorry in a horror movie like there's really two paths you can take if at the beginning you have no idea what's going on as in the characters can take this path. They can either in the end still not know what the fuck just happened, or they
Mm-hmm.
can know exactly what happened. And when you hit that middle ground, that's when horror movies just get really not they just aren't satisfying when they come to an end because it feels like it's half-assed, right? So in this one,
Mm-hmm.
like while the characters didn't explicitly know everything, they had a pretty good idea because, like, they know that there's some fucking god over here and it's turning people into monsters, right? And
Mm-hmm.
I didn't like how they did that. I didn't because once you start down the path of we can explain a little bit, you have to explain the whole thing, in my opinion. And that's what took away a
Mm-hmm.
lot of the satisfaction from the ending. Because then it's like, oh yeah, his wife's there, and then they're gonna go stand in front of the big alien, like not alien, but big entity or whatever god that is.
Yeah.
So
They
that's I know that's a big spiel. Sorry, but that's
no,
that.
no, no, no. Yeah, they could have left that out because like
Hmm.
they could have
Honestly, they could
changed
have just
up the
left them. They could have just left him bleeding on the floor. That's fine.
Yeah,
But like leaving it, like they ended up on a fucking cliffhanger. There's never gonna be a sequel.
I know.
There's
I
never
know.
gonna be a sequel.
And like you can maybe argue because it's like, oh, they like they're connected again, and maybe it's symbolic or something. But even if it's
How?
how and do I care?
Yeah,
No,
fair.
I so it's just like,
Fair.
and then yeah, like especially if a lot of films want to leave ambiguity or left up to
Hmm.
your interpretation or discussion. Like I don't know because yeah, then the movie has these things that then don't leave it there, but then you're still confused. Which yeah, this is the
Yeah.
worst kind of combo you can get um,
Hmm.
with a horror and like they because we never even yeah like because I guess that god came in and then so you had to assume right the triangle wearing hood people
Yeah.
they are different than the monsters that were made in the hospital right
Yeah.
like
Hmm.
so then
They were like
how
I think they were actual cultists.
yeah or something because like did they do you think the god like possessed them or like that faction already existed and they opened a portal to that god
Hmm.
maybe
That's a good question. I think, and again, this is what I hated about it because they explained a little bit, but they did not even touch this part. I think that they were just like just normal like cultists that were people, but that had been so indoctrinated by this cult fantasy
mm.
that the I forget his name, the doctor was spewing, and I think that obviously like it's a cult, but like seeing it in this context, I think that they were probably just like the I forget his name, the main character sheriff, because he had those visions like every once in a while where he would see like the void, and then the guy was like, "I know you saw the void," so I would assume like just like the doctor and just like the sheriff, they all had seen those visions, and they were just like, "Yeah, this dude's on some shit right now, and we're gonna follow him to the ends of the earth."
Yeah.
So I think that's it. But again, I don't fucking know.
Yeah. Oh, I was just thinking
I
because
thought it
like
was really funny when they all just got killed at the end though. That was
I
hilarious.
know I it's just wild. Oh, I was about to.
Oh yeah.
Oh, hold on one second. I'm trying to remember a thought I
Oh
just
shit, I'm
had.
gonna put my
Oh,
hat
oh,
away.
oh. All right, yeah. Here while Isaac's putting his hat away. I think his headphones are still on. They might
They
be.
are.
Oh wow. Here's my New York Times level critique, right?
Oh yeah,
For all that third, I swear the villain, just that entire third act is just the villain like
yeah.
saying just talking, right?
It's a
And
monologue. Yeah.
he's yeah. For all that monologue, which kind of you know you get nothing you learn from you don't learn anything from that entire monologue, which I think
Hmm.
kind of defeats the purpose. Because the movie could
Exactly.
have been scarier if he just didn't talk, and then I wouldn't been as annoyed about not knowing what's going on. But they decided to make that scientist the villain in the film, just talking exposition dump for half an hour, but you don't get anything out of the exposition. That's the worst
Yep.
part.
Hmm.
That's the whole thing that is troublesome about an exposition dump is that exposition dumps can be boring, but the main benefit from them is you learn something about the world. You
Yep.
don't learn anything. It's inverse of what you're supposed to do.
Yeah. We
So
know it's like a satanic thing. We don't know what the fuck else it is.
yeah, it's just what the heck is
Yeah.
yeah, and
It was
there's not
frustrating.
really
That's definitely frustrating.
so and I want to know where did the cultists go after that? Are they just gonna stand outside a hospital?
Oh,
Oh
those bitches are dead. Those bitches are
yeah,
all dead.
yeah.
There's no
So
chance in hell.
no, but
But yeah, so that's
yeah, that is the void.
yeah, good rant.
Yeah. God, I swear the Stickscast it makes me look like the biggest piece of shit ever. Where even the movie that we were praising last week, the All Quiet on the Western Front, I was like, oh yeah, 3.5. It's oh my god, I promise I'm not a
Yeah.
douche I portrayed myself in these Stickscasts. Um,
Hmm.
so that being said, what rating did you give the Void, Isaac?
I gave it a 3.5, and again, again, it's my weird rating system because like the visuals are
Mm-hmm.
really good. I thought the acting was kind of shit, but like everything else was pretty good. The plot was really good for the first half. Just for the second half, again, I just couldn't. I thought it was overall like I if I could redo it, yeah, I would watch it again. Like if I had like if I could go back in time and tell my past self, hey, watch it or don't watch it. I'd be like, watch it. So it's net positive,
Yeah,
but it just like the last half of the plot was it. I'm just still mad about it because it goes against
yeah.
like it goes with like my least favorite horror trope of they partially explain it and then they just fuck off.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, no, that's
So
the
yeah.
worst if they just go halfway on it.
Hmm.
No, yeah, no, I gave it 2.5. Um,
Hmm. Fair,
honestly, if the
absolutely
effects
fair. That's
weren't
perfectly
that good,
average.
yeah, because I think realistically, I might feel more of this film as a 2, but
Yeah.
I feel bad because costumes are cool, and I can tell they spent so much effort on those
Hmm.
effects. Um, that's okay, it that that will be my takeaway of it. So I'm happy. Everything else is fine. Yeah, it's just real, but even though no matter how good the effects were in this, like you said, there's not really necessarily a direction to it all, and that's kind of what this film suffers from. Is just it feels kind of directionless, and they're trying to do a whole bunch of different things, and
Hmm.
they try to limit how much info they give to you, and then they give you too much. So yeah, with there's just they don't do the equation right for this film. So I want to say 2, but I'm gonna put to 2.5
Fair.
because the effects were good. Um,
It's very nice of you.
so yeah. Um, But yeah, well, Isaac, that was a productive Stickscast. Look at that,
Yeah,
50
very
minutes.
productive.
I was
Yeah,
low key worried.
only 22 minutes of that was fantasy
Yeah,
football.
no, the whole time I was like, oh my god, I feel like we're gonna be talking about fantasy football
Hmm. Also,
all
it should be
day.
noted that we talked about fantasy football this week because there's just no new Burundi news. The most
I
recent news is still the Rwanda border opening. So
is it really?
stay up
I
to
didn't even.
yeah. Like I
I didn't.
checked. There's just nothing new.
Oh,
Everything
okay,
else is
all
from
right.
like 4 weeks ago.
Damn, yeah, I didn't because I didn't even check. But yeah, all right then.
Happens.
Dang, that's just how.
Maybe it's just like something so big happened that it's taken forever to process. You know,
Well, yeah,
like
I
what
mean
if aliens showed up?
Oh shit! I mean, we're halfway across the world. Oh
Yeah.
wait, yeah, from Burundi. So
Mhm.
stuff can be happening there, and maybe the internet. Yeah, it's we live in America. All right, we
They
don't
could be
know
going
what's
through a
truly
coup
going
right
on.
now. We would have no fucking clue.
Not one. But if that does
No
happen, we
fucking
will be
clue.
doing a Stickscast live stream reaction.
Yeah.
Oh man,
Are
I
you
can already
joking,
imagine.
Nils? If we're doing a Sticks cast and we find out that they're like doing a coup, we have to go and like be like media. We would be the only like foreign press
Oh
they
my god.
have, and we would be like boots on the ground. That would be insane. We
Oh,
gotta, yeah,
oh, or maybe like because they do elections there, right? You know how
yeah.
Twitch, like political Twitch accounts, they'll like react to like MSNBC and like the live poll results. We gotta do the same thing on Twitch and be like Burundi election commentary live stream. That'd be the funniest shit
That's
ever.
a great idea. That's a great idea. That is a
Oh,
fucking perfect idea.
la- last thing I'll say, I feel like God works in mysterious ways because I'm not going to look it up, but watch that the Burundi election will be the same exact day as the Oscars, and that will be the pinnacle of our movie cast, our Sticks cast, Burundi cast, movie cast, where we can both cover
Yeah,
the Oscars. That's just going to happen.
we could
I've
split
got a
screen
feeling.
it.
Oh my god. Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Well, any final closing thoughts before we go?
If you're gonna write or direct a horror movie, I just don't half-ass it. Just don't half-ass the plot, please.
No, don't half-ass it. That's the way of life, and that's not what we do on this Stickscast show.